time it is. It's 5:30 here on Wednesday. KVRX Austin, HG2, Will Bazarski, Mad Hand, Bazar Sports Radio. We're going to welcome in a UT freshman, host of the Thomas Fitch Sports Show. It's on iTunes, YouTube. Check him out. He's here with us from San Antonio, Texas. How's it going today, Thomas?
I'm doing great. It's pretty awesome to be on a show as the guest for once, not welcoming people on.
You know, it's good to have you here. We love watching your show. We listen to it all the time. Love hearing your take on college football, especially the Texas team, which has struggled in the past. Hopefully we can turn it around. We'll talk about that more later today. Let's start off with a team you love, the Atlanta Braves. Jose Bautista, 37 years old, agrees to a minor league deal with the Atlanta Braves. Spent the last 10 years with Toronto. He's a six-time All-Star, batted .203 with 23 home runs, 65 RBIs last season. They plan to use him as a third baseman. However, he's only played third base in 12 games since 2012. Is Bautista washed up, or will he have a breakout year with the Braves? I'll start with you, Matt, and then I'll go to you, Thomas.
Okay. I think he will be washed up. I don't think he will perform well. However, I like that Atlanta signed him. Minor league deal. There's potential for him to be great. He could have a breakout year again, but I mean, I think Atlanta's smart for signing him. He's shown he's a great baseball player. He's just at this point he's very old. I don't know if he'll be good anymore, but I don't know. I honestly have no idea. He could be great.
Thomas?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be. I mean, he's old. He's never gonna get back to the way he was playing when he was at the top of his game. But this is a really young Braves team, a young roster. Kind of 2-3 years ago, they kind of just scrapped everybody, traded everybody away, got a bunch of young prospects, and now those guys, you got guys like Dansby Swanson, Ronald Acuna, who's hopefully coming up soon. And so I think you get Bautista in there, you get some veteran leadership from him. He doesn't have to be the best player, just getting that leadership, getting that extra kind of expertise there. I think that'll be really helpful for the team.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's what we call a Houston Astros overhaul. All right. Talk about some young sensation. How about Shohei Ohtani? Yesterday he pitched, and we talked about this. When is it going to be the time where he falters? And he did last night. He had a blister on next to his middle finger on the right middle finger, I should say. Gave up 3 runs on 66 pitches, 4 hits. Is this where he turns it? Is this where we see him go from being a rookie sensation to come out as someone who could come back and bounce back as a veteran? What do you see from this?
All right, so I when I see this blister injury, he's dealt with it before. I think of Rich Hill. He's dealt with blisters his entire career. Obviously, it's a setback for him, but he's able to still perform. He goes on the DL, like 10-day DL stints all the time. Ohtani might have to do that, but Rich Hill's still one of the best pitchers. Ohtani is a better pitcher than Rich Hill for sure.
And hitter.
I don't know. Rich Hill does rake, but Ohtani will be fine. I think maybe he'll see a couple stints with 7-10 to DL, but besides that, now he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent, but I think this is my take on all rookies. Just let them just have a full year to get used to the league. Don't try to make predictions on are they, the next Derek Jeter, the next this guy. People, with Lonzo Ball, everybody, there's a bunch of hype around him. Ben Simmons, people are calling him the next LeBron James. Just slow down. Right. Let them get used to the league. They're clearly not at the if they're to that level by the end of their rookie year, maybe you can kind of start talking about that. But let the guys develop. But I do think Ohtani has a lot of talent, and I think he really, really can become a really good elite player.
He can hit too. That's a big. We're talking about that. He's 11 of 30 at the plate, which for any guy is exceptional. It's over 300, and this blister is definitely going to set him back. But if you're talking about a two-way player in Shohei Ohtani as a rookie, he's going to go far. I don't want to predict it saying, he's going to be the star because, like you said, you can't just say a rookie's going to be good now. Yes, I think you need to wait at least 3 years to determine if they're going to be a player who will have the longevity of a career as such as LeBron James, who's been successful for the amount of years he's been in the league. You just got to wait and see. But the way he's been playing, he's able to hit, he's able to field and pitch as well. That's going to definitely help his take of being one of the next stars. Yeah. Talk about a two-way player. Let's talk about a UT senior who last night played 9 positions. Jake McKenzie played all 9 positions last night in last night's 13-2 win over Rio Grande Valley on their baseball team. So you had him start at catcher, and then he finished it off on the mound. How about that?
That's pretty cool. I think, and David Pierce said this after the game. It was no disrespect to the Rio Grande Valley team. It was just kind of trying to show off the versatility of McKenzie. But I think it just shows the genius of David Pierce. I think the last 2 years, the way he's kind of gotten the team to develop over the second half, the way he's able to get these players and have them play in so many positions, it just shows how good of a coach he is.
Matt, what do you think of that?
I mean, it's impressive. He's very versatile, and he nailed it perfectly right there. I mean, I have nothing to add on to that.
Well, so with him playing 9 positions, we're not going to see this every single game happen,
right?
Multiple players. But will this be a new coming of players such as Shohei Ohtani, like we just mentioned, a pitcher who can also hit, who can play first base, like a Marwin Gonzalez kind of guy who can play anywhere. He doesn't pitch, but who can also hit. He can hit from both sides of the plate. And play every single position in the field, excluding pitcher and most likely catcher.
Uh-huh.
Are we going to see more of those kind of players?
You mean like super utilities?
Right, exactly.
I mean, yeah. I mean, super utilities are a solid asset to any team. Going back to the Dodgers again with Rich Hill, Kike Hernandez is super utility. He's been very, very, very helpful for the Dodgers, especially with Justin Turner out. I mean, I can definitely see players like McKenzie in the majors just as a great utility. He's there for literally any position. If anyone gets injured, he's there. I think if you can develop players to, feel or play different positions, they're going to be more successful. They're going to have a better chance of going pro. So I think we will see more utilities further on in the future.
And let's talk about, this isn't a utility player, but this is just an all-around Hall of Fame potential guy. Jose Altuve played his 1,000. Boo. Oh, wow.
You can't beat me in the World Series.
1,000
Dodgers in the World Series.
Career games last night. This is how he stacks up. He has the second most hits through 1,000 games among Jose Altuve, Pete Rose, Craig Biggio, Rod Carew, and Derek Jeter. The only one to have more than him is Derek Jeter with 1,276. So he outs him by 4 hits. Is this a future Hall of Famer, Jose Altuve?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, Altuve's ridiculous. He's a great fielder. He's a great hitter. We're comparing him to some of the biggest legends in baseball. If he keeps this up, he'll definitely be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think this definitely, when you see these guys that at a young point in their career are being put in that elite category, I think you say, okay, they're going to definitely be a good player. Great, who knows? You've got injury concerns, you got longevity concerns, but I definitely, it never hurts to be in a category of guys like that. Obviously, he already has a World Series ring, so I think likely a Hall of Famer, but I wouldn't say definitely.
Okay, yeah, with that one, his MVP award of last year, the World Series, that definitely helps his cause.
Definitely.
Right, yeah.
We'll see if he can keep this up. I mean, his average right now is 314 overall.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
If he maintains an average, this year at 284 and he's in the Hall of Fame. If he maintains a career average and he's not injury prone throughout the rest of his career, like you said, it's all about the longevity of the career and how long it goes and what he accomplishes in that career. He leads them to another World Series. He gets 1 or 2 even MVP awards, continues with the Gold Gloves, and he plays out the rest of his contract that he just signed with the Astros. There's no reason why we wouldn't say he's not a Hall. Like, you can't say he's not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So we'll just have to see from there. And, well, NBA playoffs. Eastern Conference, we got games tonight. The Pacers lead the Cavaliers. Not surprising.
No.
Defense is terrible with the Cavaliers. It's LeBron versus the Pacers because it's LeBron James, and he really doesn't have anyone around him that I can argue is very talented compared to all the other teams in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Pacers look really good. You have Toronto leading the Wizards 2-0. Celtics leading the Bucks 2-0. No Kyrie Irving, no Gordon Hayward, no Marcus Smart. What does this say about head coach Brad Stevens?
I think when you see a guy doing doing stuff like that, getting so many wins with so few star players, it just makes you think of Greg Popovich teams. And that's very good company to put Stevens in. Look at what Pop's done, last year with a lot of injury problems. This year with, Kawhi being who knows where.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
But still, granted the Spurs are a 7 seed, but they were one game away from being a 4 seed. So I think Brad Stevens is just such a great coach, was such a good hire by the Celtics from Butler. I don't think this is a Celtics team that makes a deep run in the NBA playoffs, but I do think they could make it maybe to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Matt, what do you think of that?
I said this again. I completely agree. I have nothing to add. Just nailed it on the head. It's perfect. Yeah, they're gonna. Here's the thing. I think the Cavaliers. I'm gonna counter what you said about the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think they're gonna make it out of the series. I think they'll make it a good series. Go to 6 games. Go to 7 games. I don't think they're gonna make it past the first round though.
Mm-hmm. Here, I said this. I don't know if you remember. I said this a couple weeks ago. We were talking maybe back last semester. I said that we were talking about the greatest coaches in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I said, Brad Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, for a guy who's come in, had everyone just gone. You lose Gordon Hayward once you get him. Last year, you have Isaiah Thomas, you have injury problems.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's doing. He did it at Butler.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the greatest coach right now in college basketball is Villanova's head coach.
Yeah.
He brings in all these guys who may not be the top recruits that go to Duke, that go to Kentucky, all the top schools.
Right.
It's that same idea. He's bringing in guys and is able to work with them. The play style looks good. They're playing clean basketball. The number one on the team may not be scoring the most points, but they're all working together. He's showing it. The Celtics has a new system going, and Brad Stevens is at the head of it, and he's the best coach in the NBA. We were actually debating that because we were saying, some people were saying that Golden State's head coach was number one former San Antonio assistant.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you're not coaching. You're just letting guys shoot the ball. That's different. This is all coaching. When you're losing 3 of, I know Marcus Smart isn't the greatest player, but he's a solid asset to this team.
Right, and it's still depth that you're having to play with.
And Jason Tatum is exceptional.
Yeah, it was a great draft pick. And, when you have a good team and a good coach, looking back to the Spurs, all that comes because of good, front office management. And so Stevens is doing such a great job because A, he's a good coach, but B, the front office at Boston is doing a great job right now.
Yeah, I'm talking about front offices. Last year, Dodgers, great front office. Astros, great front office. I'm not saying that just because I'm an Astros fan.
They won the World Series.
Red Sox have a very good front office right now.
Right now. That was a great hire.
That was an incredible hire. Aaron Boone is shaky right now. We'll see what happens with that. Stanton is struggling in New York, but gotta give him some time. Still April. Still some time. They play a lot of games.
Yeah, they do.
162.
All right. Western Conference. 76ers tied with the Heat. Ben Simmons, all that talk.
That is a great series. I'm very excited about that series. I think I said Sixers are going to make it very far.
Yeah.
I seriously think if they can stay hot, they can make it far. I don't want to say they can win the championship, but if they're hot and they're playing well, they could make a deep run.
There's talk about them wanting LeBron. I don't know why you would want LeBron now. You have Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid who have the keys to the franchise.
Right.
Why set that back now when this is going to be the worst season probably you have in the next 10 years?
Yeah. I don't.
They're ready to go.
I don't think LeBron's going to go to the Sixers. I think he's either staying in Cleveland or a little biased, but I think he's going to go to Lakers. I'd love to see him go to the Lakers. I could totally see him.
Yeah, could move south to San Antonio.
See those ticket prices, Jack.
If he goes to San Antonio, that would be absolutely ridiculous.
He won't come to Houston. People talk about him going to Houston. There's no reason why Harden would want that.
No,
you have
absolutely not.
It's his franchise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Daryl Morey knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
All right. Games tonight. Houston leads the Timberwolves 1-0. Having Jimmy Butler back is huge for the Wolves.
Yeah.
Competitive series. Houston can't shoot to save their lives the other night. OKC leads the Jazz 1-0. That's why you have your Thunder shirt on. Ready to go. New Orleans leads the Trailblazers 2-0. Golden State leading San Antonio 2-0. I don't know what to say about that.
It's over.
It's over.
All right.
It's over after game 1.
We said we'd come back to this. Earlier this week, Spurs coach Greg Popovich suggested the decision to remain inactive is one being made by Leonard and his representatives rather than the team. Thomas, coming from San Antonio, what is your reaction to this? What do you see taking place with Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs organization?
It's so hard to say. I mean, I think one reason it's so hard to say is because because of the silence. The journalists are having to create their own stories, and so you kind of get these half-brain stories, and it's like, what is true, what is not.
Yep.
A story comes out, and then either it's pop or it's one of the Spurs writers, or Kawhi says 2 words, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not going on. But it's just so hard to gauge a guy who's not talking out there, and a guy who may not really know the extent of his injury. My theory to his injury, this is kind of my dad's a doctor, and I had a similar injury where it's a nervous system thing following a broken leg, where as far as like when the doctors look at the results, there's nothing wrong, but the nervous system still hasn't reset, and so there's a lot of pain there, and so that's why he's been cleared by the San Antonio doctors,
right.
But he still is in pain and doesn't feel comfortable playing because there's still nerve damage there, and that just takes time, and there's no timetable for that, and that makes it just really tough to gauge how, and the lack of communication is tough.
Yeah, 2 organizations you're never going to get words out from: San Antonio Spurs and, of course, the New England Patriots.
Yeah,
except that's been divulged recently with all the releasing of the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, all those instances. All right, this is your favorite part: college football.
Love those 2 words.
We love college, don't we?
Okay. Come on.
Texas Longhorn football spring game this Saturday. What are we hoping to see? Okay, first off, I'm going to start.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find a quarterback.
I was getting right into that.
I like Bouchel. I like Ellinger. There's good things about both. There's cons about as well. You just need to find one, stick with it. Because once you have that aspect of you're going to play until you do something wrong,
right,
and then he's right in line. That just is not give you confidence in your starting quarterback, where he's going to go out there and be very conservative of what throws he makes.
Yeah, that's true.
So you got to figure out. They need to figure out by the first game of the year who their starting quarterback is. You have a starter, you have a backup. No 2 quarterback system.
No.
This is not the option. This is not the option system. All right. Since I said that, Matt, what is your take on this? What are you looking for this week?
I was going to say we need a quarterback. If anything, I mean, that's really what Texas needs. I feel like we're going to see Ellinger as a starter. Bouchel has, both of them have shown inconsistency. Bouchel's been very inconsistent. If Ellinger can fix his, I think he panics too much. I think he'll make awful throws. So like game ending mistakes. And if you can fix that, we had so many games that we could have won with just too many rush decisions by Ellinger. I feel like I'm going to be looking for Ellinger more than I will looking for a quarterback. I want to see how he plays. I want to see how he performs.
Yeah. People forget that Ellinger was a true freshman last year.
Yeah.
Went into USC on the road, overtime game, and other mistakes in overtime and just in regulation just later on in the season. But and I agree with you. I think that Ellinger does get the start. I think he has more room to grow than Bouchel. Bouchel's still, his best game to date was his first one against Notre Dame.
Oh, 100%.
He has gone down. Maybe he's gone kind of up and down, but he hasn't topped that. Ellinger still has a lot more room to grow. But what I'm most excited about seeing is the defense, because the defense was so good last year.
Yeah.
Then you bring in, B.J. Foster, Caden Stearns, all those guys. I don't know if y'all watched B.J. Foster in the Senior Bowl. He was taking people's heads off. And, he's not going to do that because it's a spring game. But him flying around, Breckenhager getting in there with the flowing hair. I'm excited to see another Todd Orlando defense get out there.
I forgot to mention this. I'm excited to see another Australian punter.
Yes, that's right. That is right.
We were talking about it in the fall. Who was our best player? Michael Dixon.
Heisman finalist.
Should have been the
Heisman. The Thomas Fitch Sports Show was pro Michael Dixon for Heisman.
We should have done that.
we were on that bandwagon. But
great stuff. It's gonna be an interesting season next year. We have some good games coming up. Also about the Sam Ellinger comment, you could say in 3 big games he made mistakes at the end of it.
Yeah.
2. Oklahoma State, he for sure had a concussion before that last play. He had no idea where he was.
Yeah.
You just got to toughen up.
All right. Let's hit some fast. Let's hit
All
some
about
fast.
hydration.
Matt's fast 5 facts. Fast as possible.
All right, fast as possible. Number 5, Desiree Linden is the first U.S.-born woman to win the Boston Marathon since 1985. Number 4, Aaron Judge has broken Mark McGuire's record for fewest games needed to reach 60 career home runs. Number 3, the LA Kings' 3 total goals in the first round was the worst in their history. The previous record was 5 goals in 1969. Number 2, Manchester City clinched the Premier League in just 33 games, equaling the league record. And number 1, Mookie Betts is tied with Ted Williams for the most 3 home run games. There's 3 total in Red Sox history, and he's done it in 1,340 fewer games. That was the fastest 5 fast facts in history. Number 6.
That was faster than when she won the marathon.
That was 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
40 minutes.
That was also my 40-yard dash time. We're going to be honest. Those are some good facts. But how about this? Before we're going to transition a bit, but today in sports history, April 18th, you know what happened, Matt?
What happened?
Well,
I do know what happened. It's on the screen right here. But tell us.
Oh, you had some suspense.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. What happened?
Oh, thank you. 1995, Joe Montana announces his retirement. Just 3 years later, Peyton Manning is selected number 1 by the Colts. 1999, your man Wayne Gretzky plays his last NHL game, and that's where we go straight into the NHL playoffs. Where's the broom? Sorry, we're just going to do it again. Vegas Golden Knights sweep. Matt's LA Kings 4-0. You got to give... I mean, the Kings fought their hearts out.
I wouldn't say they fought their hearts out. I will say this.
When you have Marc-Andre Fleury saving 97.7% of your shots,
that's tough.
No. Here's the thing. I'm gonna go into this. I think this series, every series was within 1 goal. I mean, every game was within 1 goal. Obviously, Vegas won all those games. I mean, Vegas deserved to win the series. If you can, good teams know how to win close games, and they won all 4 of those games. Marc-Andre Fleury was absolutely lights out, ridiculous. The best performance I've ever seen a goalie in an entire season, in a series ever. He looked like 2012 Conn Smythe, Jonathan Quick. I can't put into words how amazing he looked. I hate that he was so good because he played the Kings, but his career in the postseason is just it's so clutch. He's such a great post-playoff goalie. I remember with 7 seconds left, Kings were down 1-0. Took a shot point blank, and he just flashed his glove, knocked the puck off out of the line of the net. And that it reminded me of this 2009 Game 7.
Great summer.
2009 Game 7 versus Detroit. With 2 seconds left, Fleury made a sprawling diving save where he just threw himself out in front of the puck, prevented overtime, won the cup for the Penguins. He looks exactly like he did in 2009. I honestly think, as much as I hate to say this, if he performs this well and he keeps going, Vegas wins the cup. Vegas needs to score more, but however, if he performs like this, you don't need to score. So I think Vegas can make a solid run at the cup if he performs like this. Also want to credit Jonathan Quick. He was lights out too. He had no offense to support him.
But he only stopped almost 95% of the shots.
Yeah, he had a .947 save percentage.
Which is also phenomenal.
He and Fleury this was probably the best series I've ever seen between 2 goalies. Great series, even though it was a sweep. It was absolutely incredible.
Duel was
unreal.
And that's why it was fun to watch.
Yep.
The saves he was having. You're talking about that last with 7 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got a glove on that.
He just did.
I mean,
he just did. He's great. Speaking of sweeps, though.
All right, San Jose Sharks look to complete their sweep over the Anaheim Ducks. You're pretty happy about that, right?
It's a lose-lose situation. They're my 2 least favorite teams. I mean, one of them gets swept, the other one sweeps the team and goes on with the. It's rough. It's a lose-lose situation because now I gotta, I already hate one of them. I have to watch either San Jose or Anaheim move on, and then now I have to watch either Vegas or probably San Jose move on again. Right. So
lose all.
It's lose up until the Western Conference Finals.
And let's talk about that. We have predictions we did last week. Zach predicted Winnipeg, and he said after the show, I don't even know why I picked Winnipeg. And I was like, all right, Zach, go for it. Jets now lead 3-1.
Yeah.
A win tonight means their first playoff series in franchise history.
Yep.
That is including the Atlanta Thrashers, which no team has been successful in Atlanta.
Yep.
Hey,
No hockey team. I'm sorry. No
Brandon
hockey.
coming back. Give him 5 years.
Matt predicted the Nashville Predators to win. The Preds lead Colorado 2-1. That's game 4 tonight. And I predicted the Boston Bruins. I had my Boston Bruins polo on last week. They lead the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-1. Game 4 is also tonight. We'll see what happens there. Matt has some changes to make.
I have some changes. I'm torn. I don't think Nashville will win the Cup. Obviously, they will beat Colorado. Jets look phenomenal right now. I think either Winnipeg or Pittsburgh will win the Cup. I will call it now. We will see a Winnipeg-Pittsburgh Stanley Cup Finals. One of those teams.
The youthfulness of the Jets being in this situation, you think they're going to overcome this? Will they be better than the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yes.
You're saying that?
Yes. I don't think Fleury can stay this hot the entire time. It's tough. I mean, my only thing is Vegas has had so many turnovers last night. So at the end of the regular season, they were struggling had lots of turnovers. I'm talking quick because we're running out of time. But they had lots of turnovers, very worrying. They looked good the first 3 games. Game 4, they looked awful. They kept turning the puck over again. I think Fleury's just going to get bombarded with shots. The Kings didn't look good on offense for most of the series. They were taking bad shots, easy shots to the chest. I think Winnipeg, they've been hot. They've been shooting well. I think they'll be able to overcome Fleury. I don't think Vegas' offense is going to be enough to sustain them.
Who do you think is going to win it all this year?
Preds. They got home ice rest of the playoffs. And hey, Smashville knows how to win at home.
They struggled last year.
Yeah, they were still.
No, they were in the Stanley Cup. We'll see if they can bring him back. They had Mike Fisher they brought back.
Yeah.
Back in
Pecorine.
Pekka is unreal.
It's good playoffs. I have to say I really never watched the NHL playoffs. I mean, I did. Yeah. I'm not going to say that. I was never really into it. I like the NBA more. But throughout the last couple of years, I've picked up on the NHL. And I will say, you can quote me on this. I don't really care. Come at me. The NHL playoffs are more exciting than the NBA playoffs.
NHL playoffs.
They're more stressful too, though.
Oh,
yeah. I started because I kind of started watching last year. Like you, never really watched them, and I just kind of bandwagon Nashville fan, and I was so stressed in those games because it can just
at least
change.
you admit it. That's
good. Well, I'm from Nashville.
Oh, you're not bandwagon. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like to point out I was checking my heart rate throughout the game. Like, I could seriously feel my heart. I could hear it. I could feel it beating out of my chest. I checked it. I hit 140 at one point. That is not an exaggeration. I hit 140 beats per minute.
Did you lock yourself in your room and just watch the game last night?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very stressed out.
Oh, yeah. I was supposed to study for 2 tests, but,
Priorities.
Playoffs.
Nothing better than watching your team get swept rather than studying for 2 big tests. But that's all right. You know what?
You can always, you can't rewatch a game. Never. You can't relive a game.
That's true.
You can always retake a class.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom.
I hope my mom's listening. Very appreciative of that. Well, Thomas, we enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
of course.
Awesome. Try to get you on another time soon. Matt, of course, it's always good to have you here.
Thank you, Will.
Once again, check out our website, BazarSportsRadio.com. Check out Thomas Fitch on YouTube and on iTunes. Tomorrow, what time?
We'll be live at about 1 on Instagram, but it'll be up in the evening. Arya Bastami coming on, famous celebrity rapper. You probably know him.
All right, check it. Yeah, definitely check it out. Check out our website, too, BazarSportsRadio.com. We'll have Zach Dolans back next week. Will Bazarski, Matt Hand, Thomas Fitch.
Come on, hook 'em,